In the still corridors of an Umbrian convent, where candlelight trembled upon old stone and silence seemed to breathe like a living thing, a woman knelt alone before the crucifix. Her name was Veronica Giuliani. The nuns whispered that she prayed too long, that she wept too easily, that she saw things no one else could see. But Veronica did not seek visions. They sought her. From the day she was born in 1660, the world had already marked her as strange. Her mother, a devout woman, dreamed before her birth of a child with 3 crowns: suffering, chastity, and sanctity. When the child came, she was radiant and restless, filled with laughter one moment and tears the next. Her father, a wealthy man from Mercatello, adored her, but found her temperament impossible. "This child," he said, "loves God too fiercely." At 7, Veronica built a tiny altar in her room, dressing her dolls as angels and preaching to them about the love of Jesus. When her mother died, something within her broke open, not into despair, but into fire. From that day, she wrote later, "My heart burned with the thought that only God could fill it." As she grew, her beauty drew admiration, but her heart turned towards solitude. When suitors came, she smiled politely and fled to the chapel. "I am already promised," she told her father. "My dowry is my soul." Against his will, she entered the Capuchin convent at Città di Castello at the age of 17, taking the name Veronica, the woman who wiped the face of Christ. The irony was not lost on heaven. She had come to hide, but God would make her a mirror. Life in the convent was strict: fasting, silence, obedience. Yet Veronica embraced it with the intensity of a storm. Her confessor noted, "She does not walk, she flies." Her joy was fierce, her penances even fiercer. She fasted until she fainted, slept on boards, scourged herself until her back bled. When the other nuns asked why, she answered simply, "Because love cannot rest." But this love would soon take form. One night, as she prayed before the crucifix, the figure seemed to stir. A radiant wound opened in his side, and from it came a stream of light. "I felt it pierce my heart," she wrote. "It was pain, and it was joy beyond all telling." The next morning, a small red mark appeared over her heart, a wound that never healed. From that day, her life became a dialogue of love and suffering, of fire and silence. Visions came like waves: Christ crowned with thorns, the Virgin weeping, angels carrying chalices of light. The other nuns grew afraid. Some accused her of pride, others of delusion. "If these visions are from God," they said, "why do they disturb us so?" The local bishop sent investigators. Veronica obeyed every command, submitted every test, but her peace only deepened. "They can bind my hands," she said, "but they cannot bind my heart." Then, in 1697, came the stigmata. During Lent, she felt her body burn as if from within. "I begged him to spare me," she wrote, "for I am not worthy to bear his marks." But the answer came as light. Before her sister's eyes, Veronica fell into ecstasy, and 5 rays of fire shot from the wounds of the crucifix into her hands, feet, and side. When she awoke, the marks were there, bleeding, glowing faintly like embers beneath the skin. The convent erupted in fear. Some fell to their knees, others fled. The bishop ordered her isolated and examined. Doctors pricked the wounds, bound them, covered them, but still they bled. Still they returned. Veronica remained silent. "My body is no longer mine," she said softly. "It belongs to love." In her cell, she began to write what would become her immense diary, over 22,000 pages of mystical theology, dictated through obedience. She wrote not as a scholar, but as a woman consumed. Her pen trembled with both pain and rapture. "The Lord showed me his heart," she wrote. "It was a burning sun, and in its center, my name was written in light." Yet her ecstasies were not escapes. When her sisters mocked her, she smiled. When her confessor doubted her, she prayed for him. "The more I am misunderstood," she said, "the closer he draws me." She called her sufferings the kisses of the cross, and she insisted that the wounds were not punishment, but union. "It is not nails that hold me," she said. "It is love." The church, cautious, kept her under observation for decades. She was forbidden to speak of her experiences, even to her fellow nuns. Yet every Friday, the wounds reopened and bled anew, sometimes so profusely that she had to lie in bed for days. The smell of violets filled the air. Her sisters began to whisper again, not in suspicion now, but in awe. "When she prays," they said, "the whole convent trembles." Even the hardened bishop who once doubted her knelt before her bedside, weeping. She would look at him and whisper, "Don't pity me. Pity those who don't love enough to suffer." Her writings reveal a theology of luminous paradox, suffering not as curse, but as communion. "When the soul consents to love completely," she wrote, "it becomes the altar, the victim, and the flame." She saw herself as nothing, yet within that nothingness, she saw everything. "My soul is a drop of water, lost in the ocean of his mercy," she said. Her language blurred the boundary between pain and joy, as though she lived between worlds, one of blood, one of light. "Each wound," she wrote, "is a window. Through them, he enters." The film's first act would linger on her transformation, the flicker of candles on stone, the hush of prayer, the sound of distant bells, as Veronica writes by moonlight, her blood-stained hand trembling yet serene. The voiceover would echo her words, "Love has wounded me, and I would not be healed." Slowly, the camera would pull back, from her cell, to the convent, to the vast night sky, as though heaven itself were bending down to listen. Years passed, and the world outside forgot her. Empires rose and fell, but inside the convent walls, Veronica's life unfolded like a secret psalm. Her body weakened, her hair turned white, but the fire within her never dimmed. "The years pass," she wrote, "but I am still learning to love." Every morning she dragged herself to the chapel despite the pain. Each step was agony, yet her face shone with quiet joy. "If I cannot walk without suffering," she said, "then I will make each step a prayer." Her wounds bled less often now, but when they did, the fragrance returned, not the scent of death, but of spring. The sisters called it the perfume of heaven. Her diary grew vast, describing not only visions, but the interior states of the soul. She spoke of the purgatory of love, a fire that burns without destroying, where the soul learns to live only for God. "In love," she wrote, "there is no halfway. Either we die to ourselves, or we live half dead." Her confessor once asked her what she saw during ecstasy. She smiled and whispered, "I see light so beautiful that if the world saw it, no one would sin again." But this light came at a cost. At times, she felt abandoned even by God, nights when her prayers returned like echoes, when her wounds throbbed and no vision came. "He hides," she wrote, "so that I may seek him. He wounds, so that I may need him." Despite her weakness, Veronica became abbess of the convent. Her leadership was not of command, but of compassion. When the youngest sisters despaired, she would take their hands and whisper, "Do not fear your pain. It is the doorway." When one confessed that she no longer felt God, Veronica said, "Then love him without feeling. That is purest faith." Under her guidance, the convent flourished, not in wealth, but in holiness. The sisters learned to see suffering not as burden, but as invitation. If we join our crosses, she told them, we build a bridge for souls to reach heaven. Her final years were marked by almost continuous illness. Her body bore the marks of decades of penance and ecstasy, but her spirit seemed lighter than ever. I no longer suffer, she told her confessor. It is love that suffers in me. On her last Good Friday, she asked to be carried to the chapel. The crucifix stood before her, flickering in candlelight. My spouse, she whispered. The hour has come. Her breathing slowed, her eyes filled with tears that caught the light like jewels. Those around her said her face glowed, not metaphorically, but literally, as if the hidden fire within her had finally reached the surface. Her last words were barely audible. Love has found its rest. When she died, the convent filled with the scent of roses, though no flowers had been brought. Her body, marked by the wounds, was buried in silence. Years later, when her tomb was opened, it was found incorrupt, her wounds still visible, her skin soft and luminous. The bishop who had once doubted her wept as he touched her hand. Truly, he said, this woman has been written in the wounds of Christ. In the centuries that followed, her writings, those 22,000 pages, became a map for souls who sought God not in triumph, but in surrender. Her theology influenced mystics, poets, and saints yet unborn. Pope Benedict XIV, who canonized her, called her a living theology of the cross. Yet she never thought of herself as holy. In her diary's final page, she wrote, "When I die, I wish to disappear into his wounds, so that none may remember me, only love." The final scene of the film would open on her empty cell, the bed neatly made, the crucifix still standing, her diary lying open beside a single candle. The flame flickers as if stirred by breath unseen. The camera would move closer, slowly, until only the open page is visible. In her handwriting, the words, "Love is a wound that never heals, for it was never meant to." The candle's flame flares, then fades into pure light. A soft voice, hers, echoes. Every pain born with love becomes his light. The screen would dissolve into gold and crimson, a vision of her soul rising, not in ecstasy, but in calm surrender, toward a horizon where the cross and the dawn become one. And then silence. A silence that lingers, sacred and alive,